Following Fox Business's report, which uncovered unbelievable misconduct, but more frightening cheating in the air traffic control program, now the Department of Transportation has launched its own investigation into the Federal Aviation Administration. But now there's a near miss in Chicago that's clouding the picture. Adam Shapiro, who broke the story, joins us now with the latest. Adam, any chance this was a less qualified air traffic control officer?
That is such an important question, because at the heart of the air traffic control system are 14,000 men and women, the air traffic controllers, who the FAA relies on to keep 2 million people safe every day. So we've been trying to ask the FAA questions since May 11th about what we discovered, impropriety with the air traffic control tests, cheating on the air traffic control tests. They won't respond to us. So we finally got hold of Joe Teixeira, the man in charge of certifying air traffic control candidates. And here's what he said. This was the quote he gave me roughly 2 hours ago. I'm really not aware. It's not my area of expertise, and it's not my problem. That is a high-ranking official of the FAA telling the American public, F you. Now, here's something you need to know. The air traffic controllers in Chicago, the air traffic controller yelling, stop, 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 may have saved the day. This may not be a case of air traffic in Chicago.
You're talking about the near miss at Midway Airport.
Air traffic controller may have saved the day, which shows why you need qualified people there. But a simple question to ask. There are 564 men and women who've been hired by the FAA since they changed their hiring procedures and dumbed things down. Were any of those people assigned to Chicago? Because they're in the system now.
Adam, stay right there. We're going to bring in Robert Mark of jetwine.com. He's a publisher, but he's also a former air traffic controller, along with Fox News' Happening Now anchor John Scott. Right off the bat, Robert, I will get to you. This is horrifying, terrifying, but back when you were getting certified to be an air traffic controller, what kind of tests did you have to pass?
Well, we went through an awful lot of basic air traffic control, learning the regulations, learning about how airspace works and weather and all that sort of thing. But it really isn't until you get out on the job where you start learning the ins and outs of how a control tower works or a radar approach control. And that's really where you earn your bread and butter. And to me, to answer that question that was posed a minute ago, I think this controller at Midway Tower absolutely did save the day. And especially the fact that this was happening at night. And it would be easy for that controller to have missed that other airplane moving.
But, Robert, what is in your gut when you hear that there was cheating, and now that you hear the top official in charge of certifying these air traffic controllers tells Adam Shapiro, not my problem?
That's the FAA I know and love, and that's why I don't work there anymore. But, you know, this is not uncommon. I mean, you put people in charge of a huge bureaucracy, and the place is so big, no one's completely sure what everyone else is doing. And they changed this rule a year and some ago. It was nothing wrong with it. It was something they fixed that wasn't broken.
We've got a pilot right here, our own John Scott, who's a Fox News anchor. And John, yes. I mean, you, even with smaller planes that you're certified for, had to go through so much testing. When you hear that the guys in the towers might not be qualified.
Aviation is all about precision. I mean, you follow rules. And if you don't follow rules, people potentially are going to get hurt. Now, by and large, the air traffic controllers that I talk to are incredibly professional and helpful.
What kind of planes do you fly?
I fly a single-engine Cessna. But, you know, I was up yesterday in the airspace around Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, incredibly busy. And the operators, it was nonstop, them directing traffic.
Well, that's where all the billionaires fly.
Well, that's, you know, Teterboro and Newark Airport. And I'm, you know, in there among them. But one mistake and people die. And Adam, I'm not just talking about, you know, private pilots like myself potentially passing.
The test upon which they cheated was a personality test,
okay,
right?
so they've changed the whole hiring scheme, but there are several tests you have to take. This is the gateway test, though. You don't pass this test, the personality test, which they call the biographical questionnaire, you don't get in. So once you get past this test, which what sports did you play in high school? My ideal job is...
Did you have to do that, Robert, when you were, you know, trying to get into air traffic controlling?
Well, we took what's called an MMPI test, which was not quite as rigorous as this, but it asked those kinds of questions. But it was never a make or break kind of situation for us, and that was a long time ago, though.
Okay. And John, what about you? Any tests that you had to take as a pilot? Many, right? Just to be certified, at least.
Obviously, you have to learn how to fly and operate the aircraft safely. I'm reminded of, I have a cousin who was in the Navy to get into the submarine service, and you test and test and test, because that is an area of, you know, incredible precision, and ultimately he didn't quite make it. But
you talk about precision, though. They still administer the cognitive exam to become an air traffic controller. It's called the ATSAT, but they have dumbed down the standards. 96% of everyone taking that test passes
Well, the
it.
fact that you have to cheat, even when it's dumbed down, is a horror. We want to thank Adam Shapiro, Robert Mark of jetwine.com, and Fox News Happening Now anchor John Scott.